All right,
Okay,
let's begin. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome again to the Be Rooted channel. We have teacher Chris Lowe with us again to share the topic of love, horoscope matching, and karmic connection according to Vedic astrology. Without further ado, I pass the stage to teacher Chris.
okay. Good evening, everyone. All right. I'm very happy to see all of you here online. Okay, today's topic is pretty light-hearted because we are talking about love, horoscope matching, karmic connection. Okay, don't be too scared of the word karmic. Okay, there is good karmic. There's also bad karmic. Okay, so today we'll be exploring, what is love according to Vedic astrology, and how do you actually find that significant other in your life. Okay, and then at the end of the webinar, we will be taking some questions. Some of you have already posted some questions, so I'll answer them as much as I can. All right, so today there will be three main topics. So first of all, I'll be talking about the matching ascendant signs, and then how do you know this person is meant for me or not? And then there will be some of you who might have this question, I can't find love. Why? Well, I will try to answer that. Okay. Now, I would assume and hope all of you know what are ascendant signs. Okay, just a very simple definition of ascendant sign. It is that astrological sign that was rising from the east when you were born. Okay, it all depends on the time and place of birth, not the month of birth. Okay, you could be born in March, but you are not Pisces. Right? You could be any other astrological sign. It all depends on the timing and the place. Okay, so for those of you who want to know more, you can either write into me, get your astrological report, or you can just go to any online platform to plot your chart. Okay, so you need to know your ascendant sign in order to make sense of this webinar. Okay, now, ascendant signs can be categorized as such. They can be movable, meaning it keeps moving. Okay, it's fixed, it doesn't move. Common means it can be both moving and fixed, or fixed. It can be further categorized into a fire element, earth element, air element, and water element. And of course, it can also be categorized into masculine and feminine sign. Okay, so now the first one, Aries. Aries is a movable fire sign. So when you think of Aries, you think of something like a wild forest fire. Okay, everything spreads fast, destructive also sometimes. The next fire sign is Leo. It's a fixed sign. Okay, so think of fire that is controlled, like a candle fire, a wood fire, okay, a campfire. So it's controlled, it's fixed, it's not moving anywhere. Sagittarius is the next fire sign, which is common. It can be both movable and fixed. Next one, Capricorn, earth sign, is a movable earth sign. So think of it like a landslide, if you think of it that way. Okay. And then Taurus, which is fixed earth, think of it like rocks. So they are very stable. Virgo is an earth sign that is common. It can be movable and fixed. Air, the first one is Libra, movable air. Okay, it's like breathing air, wind. Next one is Aquarius. It's a fixed air. Okay. It's just like air in different seasons. It does not change. So Aquarius air sign, right, is pretty resistant to change. And Gemini can be both movable and fixed. Water, you have Cancer, movable water. It's just like flowing river, flowing water, open sea. Scorpio is a fixed water sign. It's like a dark lake. It's like a swan. Okay, it doesn't move. The water doesn't move. And then Pisces, which is common water sign. Think of it like an ocean. Okay, you can see that the colors, right? You have green and red. So the green ones are all the masculine sign, and then the red ones are all the feminine signs. And you can also see that the odd number signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, these are the masculine signs. So even numbers are the feminine signs. Okay, this is how you categorize the different signs, which will make better sense later on. Okay, and then of course, just a note here, of all the signs here, right? The sign that is the most masculine is Aquarius. The sign actually that is the most fiery is not Aries, but Sagittarius. Okay, I say this for a reason later I will share with you. Okay, so what are the matching ascendant signs? First and foremost, the earth and air signs, okay, they match each other. Even Capricorn can match with Capricorn, okay? Capricorn can match with Gemini, Aquarius can match with Virgo, Libra can match with Taurus. Taurus can match with Capricorn, okay? Why? Because these 6 signs, right, they are actually ruled by 3 planets, okay, or grahas, we call them, and they are Mercury, Venus, and Saturn. These 3 planets are actually the 3 best friends, astrologically speaking, all right? And they are also known as the outcast planets, meaning to say, like for example, in mythology, Saturn is actually the illegitimate son of Sun, okay? Because Saturn was actually born out of Moon's or the Queen's shadow. Okay, for example, Venus in mythology is the guru for the Asuras. And then Mercury was actually born out of wedlock because Chandra, Moon, okay, eloped with Jupiter's wife. Okay, so all these mythologies point that these 3 planets are outcasts and they happen to be the 3 best friends. And these 6 signs are all owned by them. So they actually mix and match very well together. Okay, just for information, Capricorn and Aquarius, they are ruled by Saturn. Taurus and Libra, they are ruled by Venus. So Gemini and Virgo, they are ruled by Mercury. Okay, so any one of your partner or whosoever, let's just say, for example, you are Capricorn and then your partner is Taurus, then congratulations, all of you match. Then all the fire signs, they match each other. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. All right, so for example, Aries can actually match with Aries. You might think that, what, both so fiery, are you sure they can match? They can actually match. Why? Because Aries is a go-getter, right? So with 2 Aries together, right, both are go-getters, meaning both of them, husband and wife, they actually are very forward-looking. They want to achieve the best for themselves, which actually works. Aries and Leo, for example, Aries will treat Leo like a child. However, Aries will definitely listen to Leo. Why? Because Leo in mythology is the king. Okay, so it's like Aries would treat the Leo like a child, but will listen to the child. When Aries is together with Sagittarius, Sagittarius will behave like a teacher or a parent figure to Aries, right? So Aries will listen to Sagittarius. And if Leo and Sagittarius are together, well, it will not be as fun as Aries and Leo, but still it works. Okay, one is the king, one is like a minister. Okay, they consult each other. But Sagittarius will also ask Leo for approval. This is how the fire signs can actually match each other. Now comes the complicated ones. The complicated ones are the water signs. Okay, so you have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Cancer and Scorpio, they can match. Okay, why? In this case, right, Cancer is like the moody type. Right? Scorpio is intense. When Cancer and Scorpio are together, Cancer becomes very interested and intrigued by Scorpio. So the relationship can actually be very what's that term happening? Okay? Cancer would love to know what's going on with Scorpio. And Cancer can also provide the stability that is much needed by Scorpio. Because if you're a Scorpio ascendant, you definitely will be facing a lot of turbulence in your life. Okay, you'll be facing like illnesses, debts, so on and so forth. So it's never an easy thing to be a Scorpio ascendant. But if your spouse is a Cancer, then congratulations to you. All right, because Cancer can give that kind of stability required by Scorpio. Then Scorpio and Scorpio can match. Okay, why? Because two are very intensive signs, right? So actually they know and understand each other what they are going through, right? So contrary to a lot of hearsay outside, that Scorpio and Scorpio cannot match, but in Vedic astrology, two Scorpio ascendants can match. They can understand each other what they are going through. Now, Cancer and Pisces, they do not match with their own sign, meaning Cancer cannot match with Cancer, Pisces cannot match with Pisces. Cancer also cannot match with Pisces. Okay, Scorpio also cannot match with Pisces. Now, think of it this way. Cancer, just now I mentioned, is like flowing water, right? It is also a very moody sign. Okay. And Cancer cannot take the oblivion characteristic of Pisces. Right? Because Pisces, ascendant people, sometimes they are quite lost in their own world. And Cancer needs stability also, right? But Pisces cannot provide. So there is that kind of mismatch. Scorpio as well and Pisces. Okay, Scorpio will find Pisces person, right, a bit too out of this world. They cannot understand, the logic of Pisces sometimes, right? But when I say they don't match, you can also see there are some couples who are with these signs, meaning for example, one is a Scorpio, one is a Pisces. Okay, so I want to reiterate here, okay, even though the signs do not match, sometimes you will see couples like that, but then their marriage will have some issues. Okay, so Pisces sign will have difficulties in matching, regardless with any other sign. Okay, next, the opposite sign will match you. Okay, there is this attraction between opposite signs. So Aries will definitely be attracted to Libra and vice versa. Okay, Aries and Libra, they can match. Taurus and Scorpio can also match. Okay, so just now I said Taurus is like a fixed earth sign, right? Like a rock, right? So Taurus can actually provide a lot of stability to Scorpio. Okay, and then Scorpio can introduce a lot of the very out of the world experiences for Taurus. Gemini and Sagittarius, okay, in this case, Sagittarius will treat Gemini like their children. Okay, Gemini will treat Sagittarius like their parent. It can match. Okay, but you also find that Gemini likes to put down Sagittarius. Cancer and Capricorn, okay, one is looking for stability, the other one is looking at how to increase their reputation, their career. Okay, I'm talking about Capricorn, so they do match. Leo and Aquarius, okay, it's just like the king and the minister, okay. One gives orders, the other one will just serve. Good match. Virgo and Pisces. Now, okay, Virgo is that person, right, who will go down to the nitty-gritties. So it can actually make Pisces more grounded, okay, which is pretty much needed for Pisces. Okay, so all these 6 combinations, they also match. Okay, so look at yourself. If you're Taurus and then your spouse is a Scorpio, good for you. Now, next one is the more interesting one. I'm going to go through the turbulent ones. Which are the turbulent combinations that you will hope not to have? Okay. Now, the first one is Aries and Virgo. Aries and Virgo, not only they don't really match, right? It triggers a lot of things. One, it triggers health, debt, and obstacles for both of them, especially for Aries. And there will be a quarrelsome relationship. And it is so because Virgo will be the one nitpicking on Aries. Because Aries usually is the one who will, very outgoing, forthcoming, goal-oriented. They'll just go for things. But Virgo will be the one like, hold on. No, you're not doing the right thing. You're doing the wrong thing. You should do this. You should do that. You should do this. You should do that. Okay, so much so, they spend their energy quarreling. It can also trigger accidents, major sudden transformation for Aries. Okay, so if you have this, your spouse is Virgo, you are Aries, then, let me know. Do you have that? Okay, astrologically speaking, they do not match. Aries and Pisces also, okay? Aries will not understand Pisces at all levels. They will find that Pisces like they are lost forever. Okay. So there is this non-existential marriage relationship where, I don't know what my hubby is doing. I don't know what my wife is doing. I don't care. Something like that. Okay. So this is not a good match as well. Taurus and Sagittarius. Okay. Similar. It will trigger debts and obstacles for Sagittarius when both of them get together. And Taurus will never get along or agree with Sagittarius' belief system. Okay, so it can be a case where, like, Taurus loves again stability, luxury. It's more materialistic, so to speak. Sagittarius is the more philosophical one. So when you talk too much philosophy to someone who just want to have a good dinner, wine and dine, they will be lost. Okay, so and they will never agree with you. So they have a fiery relationship. Now, Sagittarius, like I mentioned just now, right, of all the 12 signs, Sagittarius can actually be a very combative, fiery sign. If you look at the metaphor of Sagittarius, it is actually half human, half horse, with a bow and arrow ready to shoot. Sagittarius is actually a very warlike kind of sign. Okay, so when it gets with the wrong, when they get together with the wrong kind of person, right, they can get very fiery. Okay, next one, Gemini and Scorpio. Okay, when these two get together, it means that there is a heavy karmic debt. Usually it's a bad one, owing to the Scorpio ascendant. So in this case, Gemini owes something to Scorpio. And we need to ascertain the position of Mars because Mars owns Scorpio and what planets are in the sign of Scorpio to really, appreciate and ascertain what kind of karma. Like if, let's say, Mars is in Gemini, uh, a lot of quarrels, definitely. Okay. But as compared to Mars in Scorpio, I would say Mars in Gemini might be better because it will improve over time. If Mars somehow is in Scorpio with any other like Rahu, Saturn, oh boy, this relationship is like a time bomb. Okay. And then you also find that the Gemini ascendant people, right, will have to serve Scorpio in a sense or return that kind of favor to Scorpio. Cancer and Sagittarius, this will be the least turbulent of all the turbulent combination. Okay, because Cancer is owned by Moon, Sagittarius is owned by Jupiter. They are, astrologically speaking, they are the two good friends. Okay, but then because of the placement of these two signs, right, how they are separated from or placed from each other, is a turbulent combination, but it's the least turbulent one. Right? When these two get together, Sagittarius will be cold to Cancer, and they have very different value system, which is actually the cause of this turbulent combination. This one, Cancer Aquarius. Okay, when these two get together, Cancer will not be able to deal with the problems of Aquarius. Aquarius is actually another very karmic sign. Okay, if Scorpio is number one, the number two is Aquarius. Okay, when you are Aquarius ascendant, you may some of the Aquarius ascendant people, you may even have addiction problems. Okay, or some kind of mental instability. Okay, so when Cancer and Aquarius together, Cancer cannot deal with the problems faced by Aquarius. And it can trigger a lot of mental and emotional instability problems with Cancer. In fact, both of them may have. Okay, and it triggers a lot of debts and obstacles. Right? So far, right, Cancer Aquarius, I would say, has been very fight. This two very karmic, very turbulent. I will give them number one. Okay, Cancer Aquarius. Next one, Leo and Capricorn. Okay, this is the typical textbook. Treat each other like enemies. You know, I guess some of you may have experienced this with your parents or your uncles, aunties right now. I hate this. I hate this woman. I hate this man, but they are still husband and wife. Okay, and then when these two get together, they trigger obstacles, especially at work, or reputation, or relationship with authorities. Virgo and Scorpio. Okay, and here Virgo cannot deal with the ups and downs of Scorpio, and they are very critical of each other. Okay, so again, that I hate him, I hate her, that kind of scenario will play out as well. Okay, so this is the summary. Aries and Virgo, Aries and Pisces, Taurus and Sagittarius, Gemini and Scorpio, Cancer and Sagittarius, Cancer and Aquarius, Leo and Capricorn, Virgo and Scorpio. Okay, now any one of you know that you belong to any of this category? Okay, let me know in the chat. Okay, next I'll talk about karmic connection. What is karmic connection? The being together as husband and wife, definitely there's some kind of karmic combination that you can see from the chart. Okay, that's the purpose of today's webinar. I want to show all of you how to see that. Okay, and karmic connection, right, can be seen by this planet Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is the biggest planet. It's also the heaviest one. Of course, we know that Jupiter is mainly made of air, but in Vedic astrology term, it is actually a very heavy planet. So when it's heavy, when it's big, right, that's how gravity works, right? You will gravitate towards that planet. Okay, so your Jupiter and your spouse's Jupiter will definitely gravitate towards each other. Now, later on, we'll go through some cases, how to identify that you and your significant other have this karmic connection. Okay, now, if let's say the Jupiter has influence on Venus, on your Venus, it also has this karmic combination because Venus is the significator of marriage. And if Jupiter has influence on Moon, meaning your spouse's Moon, there is also a karmic connection. Okay, now all these are theory. You may not catch what I say, but later on we go through live cases, you will understand. Okay, so let's go through the interesting ones. Okay, celebrity couples, and I also go through some real life cases. Okay, now, on the left is Angelina Jolie, on the right is Brad Pitt. Okay, so what's the first thing we see? The ascendant sign. Okay, how do you see the ascendant sign? The very first box on top. Okay, still remember? Yeah, the juicy cases, yes. Okay, so Angelina is 4. 4 is 4. 4 is Cancer. Brad Pitt, 11 was 11, is Cancer in Aquarius. Remember, just now I mentioned, this is a classic Cancer Aquarius case. Okay, Cancer, I repeat, Cancer is not able to deal with the problems of Aquarius. It triggers mental, emotional instability. It triggers debts and obstacles. Now back to their charts. So Angelina Jolie is a Cancer ascendant. Brad Pitt is an Aquarius ascendant. First and foremost, their ascendant signs do not match already. You know that when they come together, it's going to be a turbulent combination. Okay, as what we have already seen. Okay, what happened to them, right? Now, bear with me. This is a bit technical. You can see that Angelina's sign, which is number 4, which is Cancer. When they get together, it triggers this number 4 here of Brad Pitt. What is number 4 here for Brad Pitt? It is actually the 6th house. The 6th house talks about obstacles, diseases, all kinds of impediments to your life. So when they get together, Angelina's chart or energy, so to speak, triggers Brad Pitt's 6th house energy. Okay, then, but of course, that's not the end of the story. You look at Brad Pitt, he's 11th sign, right? Aquarius sign, right? So when they get together, Brad Pitt will trigger this 11th sign here of Angelina Jolie. So what house is this? This is the eighth house. What is the eighth house? Eighth house talks about major sudden transformation, uh, anything hidden, okay? It can be also accidents. It can also be surgery, all right? So one talks about obstacles, the other one talks about sudden transformation. So when these two get together, definitely the sixth house and eighth house, which I call the 6-8 axis, this was triggered, which is bad news. Okay, now we look at that Jupiter. Just now I said Jupiter, right? Now this is actually the a bit of a saving grace here. Angelina's Jupiter, which is in this number 12 sign, which is Pisces, okay, is actually triggering this Jupiter here of Brad Pitt. Okay, so for Brad Pitt, right, when they marry, actually it does well to Brad Pitt's savings account, meaning Brad Pitt was able to save more money. Okay, and then Brad Pitt's Jupiter triggers back Angelina's Jupiter, which is also in the number 12 sign, Pisces. Okay, so you can see that their Jupiter is actually very aligned. They have a very big karmic connection. Remember just now I also said that if Jupiter has influence over your spouse's moon, which in this case it does, because Brad Pitt, okay, Jupiter goes to this 12th sign of Angelina Jolie, and Angelina's moon is also in Pisces. So you can see that there is this very deep karmic connection between the two. Okay, now they are divorced already, we already know, but they are still in good terms. And if any one of you could recall, why did they divorce? If I remember correctly, I think Angelina was saying that Brad Pitt was abusive towards them, something like that. Okay, no, why this thing triggered? Because of this Cancer and Aquarius combination. Okay, now the next couple, interesting couple, Meghan Markle. So who knows Meghan Markle and Prince Harry? Okay, though. So the first thing we look at will be the ascendant sign. And coincidentally, Meghan Markle is also a Cancer ascendant. Okay, and Prince Harry is this number 9, Sagittarius ascendant. Okay, so what do we see here? It is a Cancer Sagittarius karmic combination. But of course, of all the 8 karmic combination, Cancer Sagittarius will be the least turbulent. Okay, what happens here is Sagittarius will be cold to Cancer, and there is a very different value system between the couple. Okay, so Cancer and the Sagittarius. Now, some of you might say, hey, but seems like Prince Harry loves Meghan a lot. Now, later on, I'll explain why on the surface it is like that. But then we need to look at it from the Vedic astrological point of view. Okay, so same exercise. When the two of them got married, Meghan's Cancer energy, okay, triggered the 8th house energy of Prince Harry. So what we know about 8th house, sudden happening, sudden transformation. Okay, so for Prince Harry, from a duke, I don't know whether is he still a duke, maybe not really, right? So now both of them are staying in California. Okay, so when they got together, Meghan's energy triggered sudden transformation, sudden happenings to Prince Harry. And then Prince Harry, on the other hand, will trigger the 6th house energy for Meghan. Okay, obstacles. So what do we know? When they got married, Meghan was facing a lot of obstacles, I guess, from the palace. Okay. But then we look at their Jupiter. Okay, now Meghan's Jupiter is in the sign of Virgo. All right. So when they got married, Meghan's Jupiter is triggering this number 6 sign here of Prince Harry. Now, The number 6 sign in Prince Harry is in the 10th house of reputation. Now, by right, when you trigger 10th house, it gives the spouse more reputation. In terms of career, it will enhance as well. But it is the sign of Virgo. Okay. Virgo is actually the original 6th house energy. So when they got married, Jupiter triggered the 6th house, the Virgo sign energy for Prince Harry. So it actually made him have some difficulties in reputation. Okay. And Prince Harry actually got to serve, meaning to say he has to downgrade his status. Now, this will be more evident here. Prince Harry, Jupiter, right, is actually in the ascendant, in the sign of Sagittarius. You can see here, when he got married, it triggers the 6th house energy of Meghan. Now, you can see that Prince Harry, his Sagittarius sign, as well as his Jupiter, actually went to or triggered the 6th house energy. Now, this is a classic case where the hubby here, Prince Harry, becomes subservient to Meghan, to the wife. Why? Because Jupiter, when it goes to the 6th house, right, when it triggers the 6th house energy, right, Jupiter becomes a servant. You need to serve. Okay, so in what we see in their relationship, right, Prince Harry is somewhat subservient to Meghan, and this is so because of Jupiter's position in Prince Harry, triggering the 6th house energy of Meghan. Okay. Now I'm going to share some real life cases. Okay, this the earlier two celebrity couples, we all know what happened to them. Okay, to some extent. Now these are the real life cases. Now I plotted this chart because I do not want to divulge anyone's birth chart. Okay, I just want to let you see what are their ascendant signs and where are their Jupiter or Moon or Venus. Okay, this is the first couple. One is a Scorpio ascendant, one is a Sagittarius ascendant. So the number 8 is Scorpio, and number 9 is Sagittarius. So Scorpio and Sagittarius, they can match. Okay? They can match. Why? In this case, Jupiter is also in Scorpio for the Scorpio ascendant. So when they got married, right, it triggers the 12th. Okay, this show again. It triggers the 12th house energy of the Sagittarius ascendant person. Now, 12th house is a wild card. 12th house can be good, can be bad. Okay. It actually represents losses, loss of any kind. Loss of something bad is also good. Okay, so in this case, right, now what happened was when they got married, it actually made the Sagittarius ascendant spend more money. But in which area? In spiritual pursuits. Because Jupiter is involved here. You can see that Jupiter is in the ascendant for Scorpio, right? It triggers the 12th house energy of Sagittarius. And then, coincidentally, this Sagittarius ascendant moon sign is also in Scorpio. So it triggers the moon, it triggers the 12th house. So the Sagittarius ascendant person becomes more spiritual, religious. Again, because this is what Jupiter is about. On the other hand, the Sagittarius ascendant person triggers the 2nd house energy of the Scorpio person. What is 2nd house? 2nd house talks mainly about our bank account. For those who have attended my that money webinar, the 2nd house talks about savings account. Okay, so these two, when they get married, the Scorpio ascendant person will find that, hey, I'm able to save more money. Okay, good combination. All right. And then the Sagittarius Jupiter, which is in the sign of Virgo, triggers the 11th house of Scorpio. Yeah, I'll show you again. The Jupiter in Virgo, which is in the 10th house of Sagittarius, it triggers the 11th house of Scorpio. What is 11th house? 11th house is the most important house of gains. any kind of gains, financial gains. So marrying together, it helps the Scorpio ascendant to earn more money. Okay, and then you see something familiar, right? Jupiter here is in the sign of Virgo. So what does it mean? It means that the Sagittarius person got to help Scorpio ascendant in getting money, giving advice, helping him or her, to teaching him or her how to earn more money. Right. So this is how the whole chemistry plays out for this couple. Okay, now we have this Taurus and Virgo. Okay, this is I would say a textbook, the 100% match kind of sign. Okay, so Taurus on the left, Virgo on the right. Taurus, as I mentioned, is owned by Venus, and then Virgo on the right is owned by Mercury. They are good friends. So when they get together, when they marry, okay, it triggers. I show you again. Okay, the Taurus ascendant will trigger the ninth house of the Virgo ascendant. What is ninth house? Ninth house talks about fortune, how fortunate you are. It need not be money. Okay, it's fortune, authority as well. Okay, so the Virgo ascendant will feel more fortunate. And then the Virgo ascendant, I show again, the Virgo ascendant will trigger the fifth house energy of Taurus. What is fifth house? Fifth house talks mainly about children. Okay, so in this case, right, when they get married, sure have children one. Unless Jupiter is very disturbed. But in this case, it is not. Now, you may know, some of you, Jupiter in Capricorn is debilitated, meaning Jupiter is weak. But for this case, right, you can see that their Jupiter, when they are married to each other, it actually write off this debilitation energy, and in fact, right, it gives that Jupiter energy a boost. Okay, now for Taurus, Jupiter here is in the ninth house. For Virgo, the Jupiter is in the fifth house. So there is an interchange of energy. It means it triggers both their fifth house and their ninth house. Fifth house of children, ninth house of fortune. Okay, so just now I said fifth house is children, right? So when this couple got together, they have children, one boy, one girl, which I think in today's scenario, is quite a good family size. Okay. So if you have Taurus, if you are Taurus and then your spouse is Virgo, congratulations. Next one, just like I mentioned, right, Scorpio and Pisces, they do not match, but they are still a couple. Of course, there will be some kind of turbulent relationship there, but it's still fine. Okay, so when this Scorpio on the left, Pisces on the right, they get married, what do they trigger? Now you can see I use the dotted line. Dotted line because they don't really match. That's why the energy is not that full. I'm talking about the positive effects. Okay, so when they get married, actually, Scorpio will trigger the ninth house energy for Pisces. And then the Pisces person will trigger the fifth house energy. Okay, so this couple, interestingly, one of them has this chart where it says delay or not able to give birth. Okay, but because of this, right, the person actually managed, or the couple managed, to give birth to a girl. Okay, so in this case, right, one of them actually one of them, the birth chart says that you will have children, and the other one say your children will be delayed or will be denied. But when they got together, they had children. Okay, this is also the power of marriage. When two get together, things can happen. But why did that happen? It's because of Jupiter. Okay, so in this case, the Scorpio's Jupiter triggered the Pisces energy of Pisces. What do I mean? The ascendant. So it enhances the energy of the Pisces ascendant person. And then the Pisces Jupiter, right? goes to the sixth house of the Scorpio ascendant. Just like that Prince Harry's case, right? This Pisces ascendant becomes a bit subservient to Scorpio, meaning this Pisces ascendant has to serve, okay? Open and close the whatever sign. You have to serve, meaning this Pisces ascendant has to take care physically of this Scorpio ascendant person. But they do work, the marriage still can work. Next, Virgo and Libra. Okay, another textbook click and match. Okay, so when they get married, right? And in this case, the Jupiter is in the sign of Virgo for this couple, this Virgo ascendant. And then Jupiter is in the fourth house in the sign of Capricorn for the Libra ascendant. So when they got married, what happened? First and foremost, the Virgo ascendant will trigger the 12th house energy of this Libra ascendant. Similarly to the first case, okay, what happened here is it triggers the 12th house energy of expenses. What kind of expenses? Again, because Jupiter is involved, spiritual, religion kind of expenses. So actually the Libra ascendant person becomes more spiritual and religious. Okay, they spend more money in that aspect. And for the Libra person, right, it will trigger the second house of savings for the Virgo ascendant. Okay, I show you again. Okay, so when they get married, it triggers the second house. So what is second house? Savings. So when this Virgo and Libra ascendant people get together, it make them more spiritual and religious, as well as able to save more money. And of course, the Libra ascendant person, the Jupiter is in the Capricorn sign, will activate this fifth house energy of Virgo. Okay, what is fifth house? I mentioned children. So will this couple have children? The answer is yes. They will have children because Jupiter is involved in the fifth house. All right, couple number 5, Gemini and Libra. Okay, so again, one is both are actually air signs. Okay, Gemini is an air sign, Libra is an air sign. So they match each other. So when they get together, Gemini will trigger the 9th house energy for Libra. So fortune again. Okay. And then Libra will trigger the 5th house energy of this Gemini person. Again, good news. Jupiter, you can see, because this is 11, if you count counterclockwise, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, it triggers what? The 5th house. So you can see, whenever the 5th house and 9th house are involved, it's a good match. It's a karmic match. It is a positive karmic match. Okay, and then of course, the Libra ascendant, Jupiter triggers the 2nd house of savings. Do they have children? Answer is yes, they have children. Capricorn and Libra. Okay, now Capricorn is owned by Saturn. It is a earth sign, and then Libra is an air sign. They match each other. Okay, so this one, it doesn't talk about 5th house already. It triggers what? When they get married, right, the Capricorn will actually provide security conveniences to the Libra ascendant. Okay, it's like when they get together, they can buy house, buy car. Okay, so this is also another powerful match. And then the Libra ascendant person, right, will trigger reputation, career, cordial relationship with authorities. Okay, so they enhance each other in terms of career and private life. Okay, so these two signs match perfectly. If you look at that Jupiter, the Jupiter is in the sign of Libra. Okay, I show you again. So when they get married, the Capricorn Jupiter, right, which is in the sign of Libra, will activate Libra here, meaning it gives even more positive energy to the sign of Libra. It enhances Libra's life. And for Libra ascendant, Jupiter is in the sign of Scorpio, number 8. It triggers the 11th house of Capricorn, meaning the most important house of desires, gains, financial gains. Okay, so what happened when these two person get married? Okay, they have property, they have cars, and then the Capricorn person will have promotion. Okay, a lot of gains. Sorry, the Libra person will have promotion and a lot of gains for the Capricorn. Okay, so this is a very, very nice combination. Okay, so just now we went through quite a few real life cases and of course our two celebrity couples. Okay, what works, what doesn't work. Now, I want to talk a bit about what denies marriage or makes marriage difficult. Because I know some of you may have difficulties in marriage. You want to know why. Okay, I have there are actually many reasons why marriage becomes difficult. Okay, there are many reasons, but I will actually summarize them in a few points here. Okay. Now, this concept of Rahu Ketu, if you know, now Rahu and Ketu, they are imaginary nodes. They are imaginary planets. One, Rahu is the north node of the moon, and then Ketu is the south node of the moon. Now, Rahu is that entity with only the head without the body. Ketu is the entity that has only the body without the head. So Rahu represents your desire, but you have a hard time getting that desire fulfilled. Ketu refers to, or it actually means detachment. You may have it, but you don't care for it. So when you have these two bipolar energy in Kendra houses, what are Kendra houses? It's the first, 4, 7, and 10. Later on, I will show you, okay? When you have Rahu Ketu in these Kendra houses, it makes marriage difficult. Or if they are in the 5th and 11th house, it also makes romance difficult. Okay, so for those of you, if you have this, okay, you can tell that your marriage tends to suffer, or you may not even want to marry. Number 2, placement of Mars. Okay, I describe a bit about Mars. Mars in Vedic astrology is the warrior, is the soldier. So what does a warrior want to do? Fight in the war, right? So imagine you have a warrior in a house compound. Okay, what's going to happen? Right? You will have wars every day at home. So the placement of Mars becomes very important. In fact, Mars is, I would say, the most malefic planet for marriage. It is also malefic itself, but in terms of marriage, right, Mars has a very malefic role to play. So it all depends on where your Mars is located in your birth chart. And then number 3, certain ascendant signs and degrees. Okay, for example, Cancer ascendant, like we have seen in Angelina Jolie and Megan, right? Certain ascendant sign and degrees, you have to take into account the degrees as well. So certain signs and their degrees will make marriage difficult or will deny marriage. Okay, let's go through some of them. Okay, so I said Kendra houses, right? So if you see the two circled area, what KE is K2, RA is Rahu. Okay, this is what I mean by Rahu K2 in the first 7 axis. Okay, it can be Rahu on top, K2 below. Okay, it is also the first 7 axis. So if you have this, first and foremost, it makes marriage difficult because Rahu, when it's in the 7th house, you want marriage, but you can't get it. If K2 is in the 7th house, you are detached from your marriage. So it is not a good position for marriage. If I'm not wrong, Angelina Jolie has this. Okay, so next one, Rahu and K2 in the 4th 10 axis. Okay, KE is K2, RA is Rahu. Now, K2 here is in the 4th house. 4th house talks about what? 4th house talks about, first and foremost, your private life, meaning life at home. Okay, when you are detached, What do you mean? You spend not a lot of time at home. You don't care about your private life. Okay. What do you care about? You are pursuing and spending a lot of time in the 10th house. Rahu is in the 10th house. So this person usually is a workaholic. Okay, spend a lot of time at work and then doesn't want to go home. So when Rahu in the 4th, 10th axis, it does create problems in marriage as well. Okay, even if Rahu is in the left and then Ketu is in the right, it also makes problem because Rahu would want to have this marriage life, but then cannot get it. So it is also a problem. And then this is what I call the Rahu Ketu in the 5th, 11th axis. Okay, now you should be quite clear now that Rahu and Ketu, they are always apart, 180 degrees apart. So if Rahu is here, Ketu must be opposite. So 5th house talks about romance, children, right? Okay, it's also a romance. If Rahu is there, you are pursuing romance, but you cannot get it. If Ketu is there, you have romance, but you do not give a damn about it. So does it make marriage or does it deny marriage? Yes, it can, of course. But you also have to see the other grahas and planets in play. Okay, just now talk about placement of Mars. Okay, now this is Mars in the 4th house. So what did I say about 4th house? 4th house is your private life, your home. All right. When you have a soldier at home, what do you want the soldier to do? Fight, fight at home. Okay, so people with Mars in the 4th house tend to have a more turbulent private life, probably quarrels. Okay, and in some cases, right, it can even mean I won't say this in public forum, but they can do something very bad for the marriage. Okay, so Mars in the 4th house, if you have that, it can also make your marriage life quite difficult. Mars in the 7th house. If you have Mars in the 7th house, it makes you very competitive. Okay, competitive towards your spouse. Don't know for what reason also. Okay, fight with your spouse. So Mars in the 7th house can also cause difficulties in marriage. Mars in the 12th house. If you have Mars in the 12th house, it can also make marriage difficult. Why? Okay, 12th house, first and foremost, is our subconscious mind. When you have a fighter warrior there, right? First and foremost, this person tend to have poor sleep, cannot sleep well. Why? Because the mind is always about this energy. In fact, some addicts, like sex addicts, can also have Mars in the 12th house. So when you have such an issue, it also can make marriage or deny marriage. Okay, so certain ascendant signs and degrees. Okay, for those of you who know your ascendant and your degree, just take note. Okay, if you are Aries ascendant to Taurus ascendant, from Aries 26 degrees 40 minutes to Taurus 10 degrees. Okay, I'm talking about specific degrees. Right? Don't see, wow, I'm also Aries, wow, jialat liao, my marriage gone. No, you have to look at the degree. Okay, if you are born 2640 and above, towards the 30 degrees, or you are very, very early part of Taurus, okay, you may have difficulties in marriage. Gemini, from 6 degrees 40 minutes to 20 degrees, okay, you also can have some marriage issues. Cancer, 3 degrees 20 minutes to 16 degrees 40 minutes, okay. Scorpio, okay, how can we leave out Scorpio? If you are born between 320 to 1640, yeah, there is some difficulties or denial of marriage. Capricorn, 6 degrees 40 minutes to 13 degrees 20 minutes. And Capricorn again, 2320 all the way to the Aquarius sign, 6 degrees 40 minutes. But this one more for guys. Okay, if for a lady you have this, it may not apply to you. Okay, so from what I see, a lot of times, usually are the guys who will not be able to get a girlfriend or even marry. Pisces, again, is the final 13 degrees, 20 minutes. Okay, it is from 16 degrees, 40 minutes to 30 degrees. So these are the different ascendant signs and their degrees which can deny or make marriage difficult. Okay. All right. So we have come to the end of this mini lesson on love horoscope matching and karmic connection. So it's time for Q&A. Now, some of you have already posted questions. Okay. Of course, we have some time. All right. You can post any questions later on if you have. Now, how to understand karmic connection, which I've already gone through, I'm sure you more or less know how it affects us and how we can overcome it if it is adverse. Now, um, you probably would have gotten the drift just now. I was trying to say, if you have a negative karmic connection, right, it's not about how you can overcome it. It's the number one thing is to have knowledge of it, to acknowledge it. Because sometimes, when we are together, right, there's a reason one. Okay, I always believe this. Everything happens for a reason. When you and your spouse get together and then you later on find out that, wow, it's so turbulent because there is a certain karmic debt to pay off. Well, positively speaking, it can be a good thing because you're paying off your karmic debt. Okay. Now, sometimes the turbulent thingy can be so abusive. That's another matter. Okay. But it is something that you don't want to overcome it, but you want to have you want to have knowledge of it, and then you do things that can mitigate a bit. Okay, for example, if I were to advise Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, right? Okay, I would tell Brad Pitt not to spend too much time with Angelina Jolie because the separation will actually mitigate something. Okay, so there are some proactive things to do. Now, how to determine the karmic is a blessing in disguise or a challenge? Okay, just now we talked about Jupiter, right? So if let's say one of the spouses Jupiter happens to trigger the sixth house energy, it is usually a challenge. Meaning to say one of them, right, got to be a bit more subservient, serve the spouse, or constantly get worried about the spouse. So is this a challenge? I guess so. Okay. So you can use Jupiter to see how this karmic connection is it adverse or is it positive? How many karmic connections are there? I don't know. Okay. There are several that I already mentioned. Okay. Let's look at just Jupiter, Venus, and Moon. Whether there's any influence of Jupiter on Venus and Moon, you already see. Okay. In some couples, right, we see that there are two or more positive connections there. Okay. Now, have I met them? Well, I have to see and look at your chart. All right. I will not be able to explain them in public forum. How to see your karmic partner? Okay, so just now the exercise we've gone through, right? You need to know your own ascendant sign, your placement of your Jupiter, and then of course your partner's or your spouse's birth chart. Okay, and then you use that little exercise that we went through, then you will know whether is this your karmic partner or not. Okay, when is the best love month horoscope matching? Okay, there's no such thing as best love month. If you are looking at when is the best time to get romantically involved, it has to depend on the luck cycle that you go through. Okay, so the usual culprits, I would say, are Jupiter and Venus, and sometimes Moon. These three planets are, will trigger that desire to get hitched. Right? So you need to go through your luck cycle as well. Okay, horoscope matching, we have really gone through. Okay, karmic connection only comes from latest past life or many previous past lives. I'm sorry I cannot answer. All right, but if you adhere to the theory of Vedic astrology or any other metaphysics, there are many past lives. So it can come from many past lives. Right? The effects will be seen on how your Jupiter placement is compared to your spouse's Jupiter, and whether or not, right, you belong to any of the ascendant sign and degrees. Okay, so for some of you, who you already know that, wow, I'm a Scorpio in 12 degrees. Okay, I already said, you being a Scorpio in that degree, you would already have some challenge in marriage. So if let's say your Ketu Rahu placement is, the first 7 axis, fourth 10 axis, and then on top of that, your ascendant sign is, say, for example, Cancer, and on top of that, the degree is what I mentioned, then most probably you have difficulties getting married. Okay. Now then you may want to ask, are there remedies? There are remedies, okay, but it also has to depend on what luck cycle you are going through currently. Because the remedies can only work if you happen to go through that positive luck cycle for marriage. Okay. So in other words, right, if let's say you happen to ask an astrologer, a teacher like myself at the right time, okay, then the heaven is giving you a chance. But let's say you're going through not the right time. Even after applying remedy, you may not get it. Okay, because it denies. And that wrong time is when you are in your prime. You can get married, and you should get married kind of time luck cycle. Okay, but then heaven is not giving you. So in other words, right, they are denying you. If that's the case, then you probably would have to accept, what is in store for you. Okay, so we have come to the end of the webinar. Are there any questions? Oh yeah. I got one question I didn't post. Someone got asked me, will I divorce? Okay, now divorce is seen from an individual chart. Okay, it doesn't mean when two person get together, they belong to the turbulent combination means equals to divorce. No, the answer is no. You have to see the individual chart. So, for example, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, right? You have to examine their chart individually to see whether there's divorce. Because in their case, right, Angelina Jolie's chart has that divorce energy. Brad Pitt doesn't. But divorce can happen with just one person saying, I want to divorce you, right? So divorce must be seen through that person's chart.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing, Chris. Anything else you would like to share before we end?
No, that's all for me. Okay. Now, before we end this webinar, now, allow us to also sell, what our services are. Okay. Now, we are recruiting students for the April class at KL. Now, the course fees is 6,000 ringgit. All right. Now, it's at 4,788. Okay, and for those of you who register with us because of this webinar, we are giving you an additional discount. So it will be 4,388 for early bird. Now, please contact Mr. Kao Chung. Okay, at this contact if you are interested to sign up for the April class. For Singapore, okay, I'm also scheduling a May class. Okay, it will be on the 10th, 11th, 17th, and 18th, 4 days, over 2 weekends, Saturday and Sunday. Okay. In this class, right, the cost fees is 3,000. And on top of that, I'm going to provide a Vastu audit for one property. And I'm also giving a gemstone prescription. All this total cost is more than 5,780. So I'm going to just charge 3,000 to have this Vastu audit as well and gemstone prescription. Now, for those of you who would want to register within this month with me, okay, early bird price 2,007, but you have to register with me by 31st of March. Okay, so with this, I end the webinar, and this is my contact. Okay, please feel free to contact me anytime. My email and my URL and my number available on WhatsApp. Okay, that's all for me, Carl.
Thank you very much again, Chris, for sharing. Being a Pazi practitioner myself, my comment is I believe that there are some things in Vedic astrology that is pretty clear and cut dry kind of thing. Compared to the some ambiguities that we might have in Bazi. So, why I kind of partner with Chris is I believe that understanding an extra form of astrology will help us understand ourselves better and our clients better. All right. Thank you very much for attending and have a good day, everyone. Good night.
Yeah. Have a very good evening and good night.